welcome to Moab. We are here with the 2024 GMC Hummer EV SUV. We're excited. This thing, we're gonna take it off-road all day out here in Moab. We got some gravel road, 2-track, we got some slick rock, we got some pretty technical obstacles. This is Jack's Tracks area, and we're gonna do up to a level 5 trail. Let's go see what this thing can do. If you want to make a statement, whether you're at your trailhead in Moab or your local mall or soccer practice, show up in a 2024 GMC Hummer EV SUV. Yes, that is a mouthful of a name, but this is quite the vehicle to match that incredibly wide, long name, like this wide truck that's really tall, that has massive weight. This thing weighs almost 9,000 pounds. But with that, this is the 3 motor, which gives you 800 plus horsepower, 1,000 plus pound-feet of torque, over 300 miles of range. It's fully electric. You can get it in 2 motor. This is the 3 motor, has 2 in the back, 1 in the front, and you can get an on-road and off-road version. This is the off-road version. This gives you 35-inch mud terrain tires, 18-inch wheels, 5 skid plates underneath. It gives you rock rails down the side, which are also side steps. Both are needed with this vehicle. It also has 2 additional cameras under the vehicle, trail cams, gives you a total of 17 camera views. Lots of cameras, which you need because this hood is quite high and really hard to see over on the trail with such a narrow windscreen. Is there a vehicle that has more presence than this huge luxury SUV? This one, fully outfitted as you see, 3 motor, off-road version, all the bells and whistles, $116,000. I took this thing off-road all day, put in some good miles and a variety of terrain. Let's get into the details of why this thing's interesting. Let's start here at the front. You have a massive Frunk. In this Frunk, you can store whatever you want. It has no motor, it has a ton of storage. Right now, I have one of the roof panels. So we can shut the Frunk here, and you can take this roof panel and put it back up on the roof. A couple of those panels, they all stack in there, and they create a fully open air motoring experience. There's only a few vehicles on the market that can do that, and none of them are electric. A lot of vehicles these days use air ride. The GMC Hummer is no different. This air ride suspension has 13 inches of wheel travel. You can have 4 settings. So lowered makes it easy to get in and out of. Normal ride height for the highway. Raised, which gives you off-road capability, and that's what you're gonna wanna ride in most of the time, which is what it's in at the moment. And extract. Extract is super tall. So in the raise and extract modes, it is tall on the airbags, so it is a bit of a harsher ride. So you really got to control the body roll with the accelerator and the brake, but it allows you to have that massive amount of ground clearance, wheel travel, and comfort, especially on the highway. One of the truly unique things about this Hummer, all-wheel steering. The rear axle actually steers up to 10 degrees. In this orientation, you can see the front wheels turn to the right, the back comes out to the left. That gives you a really tight turning radius. It works really, really, really well on the trail. It also allows the vehicle to go into crab walk mode. What that does is actually puts them in phase. So both wheels will be pointing in the same direction. That lets you side slip across the trail. Kind of a party trick for sure, really fun in mall parking lots. But there are situations on the trail where that could come in handy. A handy one that I know has happened to me a few times is, say the side of the trail is soft and the vehicle gets off of it and you want to climb back onto the main trail. Well, put it into crab walk, have the whole vehicle pull back onto the trail. Without crab walk, normal vehicle, has happened to me, the front end pulls up and onto the trail where the back end sinks into the soft stuff and actually goes down into the ditch or off the side of the trail. Then you're sideways of the trail and things get interesting quick. So yes, a party trick, but yes, also useful. And all-wheel steering is really cool, but it's fully selectable. So just turn it off if you don't like it. And I drove a bunch today with it off-road. It works great. It feels like a normal car when you're just steering with the front end and the rear axle is not live. You do have to recalibrate your brain when rear steer is on because the back of the vehicle does take a different line than you would normally expect. Of note, the SUV is 9 inches shorter than the truck. What that means is it's got a tighter turning radius and a better breakover angle. Now, you are still going to use these sliders. It is a heavy vehicle. it's on air ride. As you come off of stuff, it is, no matter how good you are with your left foot or how good the one pedal driving system is, which is really good in this, it actually applies the brake when you have it set up properly for off-road travel, which would be L and terrain mode. You're still gonna have a little bit of a bounce, and sometimes, especially with the weight, it'll come down and hit these sliders. Luckily, they're fully rated for the weight, can handle it no problem, but you are gonna have some shiny bits on the bottom. These steps are really, really good. Fully protected when you're off-road, helps protect the body panels here, as well as up out of the way, and the slider's actually up underneath. It's kind of a trick thing they did here. This whole thing is a battery pack. So it's a double stack battery, and they really disguised it well in the design with these rock sliders and steps and kind of this plastic cladding. But inside the vehicle, the floor is really, really high. What that means is, especially for backseat passengers, your leg is gonna be up off the seat quite a bit if you have longer legs. Not super comfortable. The back seat does angle backwards, recline, which it doesn't in the truck, but this pillar that goes over and holds the glass roof, that setup is really snug. I'm 6'3", have a pretty long torso, and my head's pretty much rubbing on that bar sitting in this back seat. So, back seat, great for kids and shorter people, not so great, especially on longer trips for tall adults. Around here at the back of the vehicle, you have a barn door system. Touch of a button opens, gives you tons and tons of volume in here. You can put a lot of gear in here. Push the button again, shuts on its own. It's fully powered, and it carries the big 35-inch tire on that motorized gate. And just at the touch of a button, right above your rear view mirror in the front, rear tailgate glass comes down. Great for the dogs to get some air, as well as just to have a more open air driving experience when you pop all the panels off the roof. While the front of the vehicle has a nice skid plate, this is all plastic in the back. So you can probably expect, if you're gonna off-road this thing, to hit these panels. I have to say that I did some pretty aggressive stuff today. Didn't once hit this plastic anywhere, I don't think. It's very well formed. The skid plates go pretty much right up to the edge of it here. And these lower A-arms take a hit. These are definitely the lowest point under the vehicle. Since it's an EV, it's pretty much just a flat floor the whole way. There's no diffs, no pumpkins, nothing hanging down, except for these A-arms. They're really, really stout, and they do take a beating. So expect to land a lot on these and the rock rails on the sides. Probably use the skid plates a little bit as well, but this is what you're gonna hear the most. Ding! Let's wrap this up in a tidy little bow. The 2024 GMC Hummer EV SUV is a lifestyle vehicle that's all about being seen and having the latest and greatest gadgets. Yes, you're gonna see way more of these in Beverly Hills at your local soccer practice than you are here in Moab at the trailhead. But GM has built in a ton of what look like gimmicks on paper. They're party tricks and full capability features for places like the Moab. The capability of this truck is amazing. It really impressed today in all regards, except for high speed. High speed, the weight and the air suspension don't really handle it, but at slower speed crawling over stuff, really, really capable. So what I recommend is pop the top, throw them in the frunk, put a roof rack on it, load it up with some mountain bikes and some kayaks, put your family or friends in it, slap some 37s on there because we all want it to be bigger. I mean, this thing is already huge. You might as well go big and even add more capability. And empty your bank account because it's 116 grand right off the lot.